One Battle After Another is the most recent entry in Paul Thomas Anderson's catalog of movies. I love this man. PTA's movies are among some of the most unorthodox yet inventive and enjoyable movies I've ever seen. Adding in some Leo DiCaprio is a no-brainer. Whatever your opinion is on him, the dude will go down as one of the greatest to ever do it. So it was only a matter of time before these two powerhouses worked together on a project, and fate willed it so 2025 would be the year for this to happen. The film also stars Sean Penn, Tiana Taylor, Benicio del Toro, and young starlet Chase Infinity. Look at this name. That's gotta be one of the sickest names I've ever heard, and with a performance that doesn't fall short compared to that of the juggernaut actors in this film, yeah, she's destined for greatness, and I'm excited to see what's next. The film is based loosely on the Thomas Pynchon 1990 novel Vinland, as we follow a down-and-out washed-up revolutionary named Bob, who finds himself in a perilous mission to find his daughter Willa, who abruptly goes missing. Now, normally a story like this can be extremely formulaic, think Taken. Don't get me wrong, these movies can be entertaining and aren't bad, but they just don't have that wow factor that makes them truly great. PTA has this strange gift where no matter what genre he works on, he's able to make it feel so authentic and tangible. You might even consider them slightly unpolished because of how raw they can be. His movies are unpredictable. You're lying if you say that you know what events are going to occur, because often they can be random in the overall story. You just won't know how any of his movies are going to play out by the end, or if there's an actual message behind the film. In fact, a lot of the vitriol against him sums up to his endings not feeling like real endings. There's no conclusive feeling, and it kinda just happens. Much like Sean Baker, the criticism for not following the traditional storytelling structure is valid, I guess. But that's the brilliance of filmmakers like these guys, because they aim to make these movies feel real, as if we just got a snippet of a day in this person's life, so there's no need to have a tidy finish. They don't incorporate a movie veneer, it makes the movie feel real even if we know that it's not. And the thing is, my appeal for his movies is that there is no need to have a message. Not everything has to have commentary about stuff or tackle specific themes. Funnily enough, One Battle After Another is still very much a PTA film, but it's more timely than ever. You can watch this film and enjoy the hell out of it, and this movie speaks to many different audiences, and as such, I think it's Paul Thomas Anderson's most accessible film to date. There's no other way of saying it. This is an easy frontrunner for Best Picture of the Year for me. Not including Sinners and Weapons, this is easily the most entertaining movie I've seen this year. It impressed me so much. And again, we're talking about the same year where I saw the most stunning sequence that made me travel through different eras of genres and people that still make me question how the hell were they able to get that shot. One Battle After Another is just that good. Also, they made a mistake when you Google the runtime for this thing, because even though the movie is an hour and 50 minutes, it's allegedly 2 hours and 50 minutes. Someone should really fix that. You can make the argument that this movie can be described as one big action sequence, which very much helps with the pacing, but between the wonderful score and the sharp editing, this movie feels a lot shorter than it is. It's been a really long time since I found myself fully immersed so quickly in a movie. Usually, you would think that a movie is immersive if you can get hooked in within the first 20 to 30 minutes. I disassociated from real life within like the first 5 minutes. That's just how much I could visualize what this world looked like. And that's the thing about Paul Thomas Anderson's movies. They're so good at breaking the mold of what a movie has to be, and it's not pretentious, and it's certainly not experimental. If anything, it's his confidence in his own style that makes the clunky minutia of the story not matter so much, because it's the emotional moments for all his characters that really matter. It seems to me that PTA understands that a story can only be as good and be so well written that the audience will appreciate and even love the movie, but they won't click with it or remember it later down the line because they just can't relate to the movie. He understands that prioritizing that core human experience element is the key to being memorable. If you can relate to something, you will most likely remember it for a much longer period of time. Memorabilia is the ultimate goal of movie making, sometimes even more than box office numbers in my opinion. Much like last year's Anora was for Sean Baker, One Battle After Another seems to be the culmination of Paul Thomas Anderson's set of skills being perfected, and I can't imagine anyone not liking the movie even if you can't relate to it. That being said, Anora, for as a amazing as it is, it's not my favorite Baker film, and I have to sit with One Battle After Another more, but I don't think it'll dethrone Punch Drunk Love as my favorite PTA film. Nevertheless, it's hard to deny it's definitely the more important film of the two. Like I said before, I strongly feel this is his most accessible film, regardless of if it ends up being a box office success or not. What story can pull at your heartstrings more than a genuinely raw father-daughter drama that just so happens to be in the umbrella of an action movie? It's actually kinda uncharted grounds that PTA touches with this movie. He tends to lean more into the darker, more cynical outcomes. I guess you could argue Licorice Pizza isn't cynical and it's somewhat positive, but even then, by the end, there's a feeling that these two aren't going to end together because too much doesn't work despite that fire being there. It's literally the whole hopeless romantic thing where they cling so hard to each other even though deep down they know it won't work. I couldn't help but feel genuine hope and wholesomeness by the end of One Battle After Another. In 2025, everyone feels like there's a gloom and weight on top of everyone's shoulders because of the dark times that we're currently living in. It's nice to watch something that makes you feel hopeful, and that's exactly what this movie is. It's a movie that tries to work out all those troubles that we as a society feel and are facing, but it's also exciting and funny and captivating. Even though this movie's description isn't that of a PTA film, this is probably the most PTA film to have ever PTA'd. His stoner humor, the old-timer jokes, the bizarre shenanigans that are like his trademark, it's all there. The comedy is immaculate in this film, and not because it's purposefully a comedy. The jokes are hilarious, but they don't feel telegraphed in any way. They feel organic, and it's like that weird humor that comes out of like really stressful situations. If you love Thelma and Louise's desert cinematography, which if you watch the movie, how could you not love it, then you'll really love this movie. The small granular details like dust and rocks, even the sand in their hair looks great. This movie in general looks great. It's insane that something like the desert, which is usually associated with being barren, colorless, even ugly, can truly look so beautiful. There's sequences in this thing that remind me of something like Climax, where it feels like I'm on drugs because it's shot in such an evocative way. Yes, Leo is amazing, and in general, everyone is doing a great job, but damn it, Sean Penn is the heart of this film, no doubt about it. If this man doesn't win Best Supporting Actor, I'm scuffing the board members' shoes. And you know those shoes are expensive. He's like a cyborg where every mannerism, every face gesture is purposeful, he's ball-bustingly funny, and also extremely intimidating. He's literally a cartoon. All these characters are likable in their own way, even though no PTA character is perfect. All of them are deeply flawed, but they're more than that, and it shows. They're empathetic. Despite the villains in One Battle After Another feeling more present than the other antagonists in his other films, they feel overly serious, to the point that it's silly, and again, I think it's on purpose. Ultimately, the craziest thing I got out of this thing was to see how far PTA could stretch his movies to not feel like his movies while still very much being his movie. It's definitely a movie that aims to have an emotional impact regardless of whether or not you can relate to this set of characters. It's weird to say, but it has like the goodest feel out of any of his movies. It's extremely compassionate in its delivery. So much so that you believe how strongly these characters feel for each other, focusing on only the good despite the messy nature each of them have in their own ways. And by the end, there is no answer, no eye-opening moment where PTA can unravel the messiness of that darkness that we are currently living through. It's simply doing its best to understand it, but obviously based on reality, there is no simple solution that can fix everything, but keeping that hope and focusing on that positivity is imperative, as this movie suggests. Overall, it's really freaking good, and I'd have to rewatch Sinners again, but as of now, this is probably my pick for Best Picture. But that's it for me. I'd appreciate a thumbs up, subscribe, and sincerely yours, Anthony.